it's Nicole from Nicole Loves Nails. Welcome to my channel. So today's video is for the newest release from China Glaze. I have their new holiday 2023 collection called Wonka. This collection is in collaboration with the upcoming Willy Wonka new, I think it's a prequel movie, I think. So before we get into today's video, I got a couple of things to mention. Are you serious right now, Dee Dee? Can you not? If you hear beeping, that is Dee Dee stomping on my air purifier. That one, her right there, that's Dee Dee. If you are new around here, hi, my name is Nicole. It is wonderful to meet you and thank you very much for clicking on today's video. Do consider hitting subscribe if you enjoy nail polish and, lifestyle related content. I upload new videos every single week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I also go live on Sundays. And in case you couldn't tell from all the movement, I got a lot of cats. If in fact you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. How are you doing? How is everyone's week going thus far? Also, I got a couple of things I also wanted to mention before we get into the video. First off, I wanted to say thank you all so freaking much. We hit 6,000 subscribers over here on the good old YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, everybody.
So just thank you all so much. Like, wow. I feel like every time we hit a new milestone on this channel, I'm just in awe and just utter disbelief. I just really appreciate it, and just thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all so very much. And also I want to say thank you to all of the well wishes. I wasn't feeling so great last week, so just thank you all very much for all of the well wishes. So I purchased the polishes featured in today's video. As always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. I picked these up from Polish Pick, however they are currently popping up at other retailers. I saw this morning that they're also available on the China Glaze website as well as on beyondpolish.com. And as y'all know, I do have an affiliate code with Beyond Polish, so if you want to pick these up at a discount, do use code Nicole Loves Nails to save an additional 10%. As always, down in the description box, I'll have links to where you can pick these polishes up, as well as links to the China Glaze website and social media pages, my social media pages, as well as a link to my blog post on NicoleLovesNails.com, where I host all of my swatch photos, as well as provide a written review. And of course, timestamps are down there as well. I will also have some comparisons at the end of the video for these polishes. I decided to go through my China Glaze Helmers and do some comparisons because some of these look kind of familiar. Let's just get into this video. First up we have For the Dreamers. China Glaze describes this one as a rich and glittery burgundy. Personally, I think it's more of like a bright berry leaning magenta color. Like, it's very seasonally appropriate magenta. Hopefully that makes sense. For the Dreamers had a pretty okay formula. It was a little bit on the thicker side, but not so thick that I needed to add thinner for my swatches. I do think when I reach for this again, I likely would need to add thinner, but I didn't need to add thinner straight out the bottle. I know I regularly talk about how much I don't really like berry colored shades. I feel like this one has just like a little bit enough of like a pinky tone to it, plus the glitter, that made me actually like this one quite a bit. This polish isn't in a clear base. You're not going to be able to use this one as a topper unless you use it over a similar color. I'm going to call this one a 2 to 3 coater depending on application style, nail length, and personal preference. I used 2 coats for my full hand swatches, but I could see why someone might want to go in for a 3rd coat. The glitters in this polish are very top coat hungry. I did 2 coats of top coat for this one and my nails still felt fairly textured. I don't think every single glitter polish needs to have holographic glitter, but I feel like this one would have looked extra pretty if there was just like a little bit more of a twinkle going on in the glitters. Due to the glitters, I would recommend soaking this one off or using a peel-off base coat. If you opt to scrub the polish off, it will be incredibly difficult to remove. I did not personally experience any stain, but wear base coat anyway. And now we have Noodle, which is a teal shimmer. Noodle had a pretty good formula. I was pleasantly surprised at how opaque this polish was. It wasn't a 1 coater, but it wasn't like sheer and needed to really be built up either. This is going to be one of those shimmers that I feel is more of like a glow from within shimmer and not like a boom in your face shimmer. I'm not really much of like a subtle kind of shimmer kind of person, so like while I did like the base color of this one, like the shimmer wasn't really doing much for me. I did appreciate that there weren't any obvious brush strokes through the shimmer though. I'm going to call this one another 2 to 3 coater depending on personal preference and application style. Initially, I thought I was really good in 2 coats, but looking back at my footage, I feel like I have a couple of dark spots that my eyes weren't able to catch. My photos show Noodle in 2 coats plus glossy top coat, super easy removal, and I had no issues with staining. And now we have Pure Imagination, which China Glaze is describing as a magical purple shimmer that shifts to a golden hue. In my not so humble opinion, I think this polish is pretty much the star of the entire collection. In the bottle, the shimmer has like a pink gold green color shift. On the nail, you mainly get a pink to gold color shift. I tried so damn hard to get the green to show up on my nail, but I could not see it at all. The base for this polish feels like slightly crelly leaning. It's not as sheer as what I think of for a jelly, but it's not like opaque like a cream either. The formula on this polish is pretty good. It is thinner than I would have personally liked. I did find that it ran down the stem of the brush a little bit, but it's not thin in the sense of that it's like watery and like runny. It's not that kind of thin. This shot was just taken next to my window. It was damn cold the day I was swatching this collection, and I'm sorry guys, I love you, but I'm not going to be standing outside in 30-degree weather to get some nail shots. Sorry, I'm just not doing it.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
I'm going to call this one another 2 to 3 coater depending on personal preference. I used 3 coats for my full-length swatches. I did find that the 3rd coat did deepen the overall look of the polish on the nail, as well as made the shimmer look a little bit stronger, but I wouldn't say you have to do 3 coats to get really nice coverage. So that is 3 coats plus glossy top coat of Pure Imagination, super easy removal, and I had no issues with staining. And now we have Secret Recipe, which China Glaze describes as a rich milk chocolate cream. Believe it or not, this is one of the colors from this release that I was looking most forward to. I don't know what it is with me and chocolate brown creams, but I just absolutely love them. The formula on this one was okay. It did feel very much on the thinner side, and on that first coat, it was very sheer. I was so scared that this was going to be similar to the browns from the I Don't Give a Sip collection. I do think that this polish leans slightly towards more being a creme than a cream. Went back and forth on whether or not I needed to do 2 coats or 3 coats. I ended up going in for 3 coats for my full-length swatches, but I had a couple of nails that were okay enough in 2. I didn't love that I needed 3 coats to reach full opacity for me, but I think it is passable in 2. I like this color a lot. I just wish it wasn't a 3-coater for me. So that is Secret Recipe in 3 coats plus glossy top coat, super easy removal, and I had no issues with staining. And the final polish is called Totally Taffy. I'm going to describe this one as a candy pink cream. This is a very pale pink shade, so unsurprisingly, it is fairly streaky and uneven on that first coat. I did not love the formulation of this polish at all. The base itself did not feel overly thick or thin, but I could not get this one to get like even coverage for the life of me. I feel like it self-leveled okay, but it felt slightly chalky. I did a combination of like having one thin coat for my first coat and then floating my second and third coats on, and even with floating my brush on, I just could not get this to be completely even. When it comes to creams, I really do not like the look of seeing any kind of dark spots on my nail, so this one's going to be a pass for me. So that is 3 coats of Totally Taffy plus glossy top coat, super easy removal, and I had no issues with staining. And last but certainly not least, we have Wonka, which I'll describe as a gold shimmer polish. This is a larger particle shimmer, so it's kind of sparkly as if it was a glitter, but it does not dry down textured and won't be difficult to remove like a glitter. Both formula and application were fantastic with this one. I really like coverage for me in 2 coats. I love this color so much, and I know that's not a surprise to anyone. Y'all know how I react every time I see gold.
I love gold. The look of it, the taste of it, the smell of it, the texture.
I was really happy that this was a more like sparkly gold than a smooth gold. I feel like in recent years I've gotten a lot of like metallic-y golds that show a lot of brush strokes. So I was really happy that this is more of a sparkly one. But again, this is not a glitter, so it's not going to dry down textured. Removal will be messy, but not overly difficult by any means. So that is Wonka in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. This first one here, we have Totally Taffy. I immediately was thinking that this was going to be similar to the polishes that were in the China Glaze spring collection from this year. From that release, the most similar was here for the candy. Here they are side by side in the bottle. They're really not as similar as I thought. Here for the candy is a lot cooler toned. So I have a lot of China Glaze purples, but I wanted to specifically keep in the family of purples that have shimmer. So here in the middle, we have Pure Imagination from the release this month. This shade here is Bloomessence, which was in a spring collection a few years ago, I think. Over here, we have Sky of Lavender, which was in this year's fall collection. Similar to Pure Imagination, I wanted to stay in the China Glaze glitter family. Like, I didn't want to venture out to creams and shimmers. So here in the middle, we have For the Dreamers. I thought that this would be a lot more similar to Gift for You, which is over here. This was in a holiday collection a couple years ago, one of the Sesame Street ones. And then over here, we have Put a Bow on It. I honestly cannot remember when this one came out, but it smells old, so I'm pretty sure it came out quite a long time ago. And again, nothing like dupeable. I thought for sure that I was gonna have a dupe for Noodle because like I was looking at it, I was like, I've seen this before, I've seen this before. So here we have Noodle right here and here. The most similar polish that I had to Noodle in my China Glaze stash was Custom Kicks, which is this polish over here, and then this is Noodle's right here. Custom Kicks was the most similar, but they're not the same color at all. I had no idea that I had so many brown creams from China Glaze. Up until recently, I didn't know that I gravitated so strongly towards browns, but I have a lot of browns from China Glaze. Over here we have Secret Recipe, and then going in order, we have Brew That, Chocodesiac, Mahogany Magic, 9, and then Community. I think Brew That is going to be the most comparable color-wise as well as formula-wise. I had really hoped that this was a dupe for Community, which is again over here. Mostly because that polish was from the Giver collection, so it's discontinued now and a little bit harder to find, but it's not a dupe. Right here is the Wonka polish, just called Wonka. I have a lot of China Glaze Gold. Gold is another one that I feel like I gravitate very strongly towards, but I didn't have anything that was exactly the same. So in order, over here we have Jingle Bell of the Ball. Over here we have Mingle with Kringle. Over here we have Champagne Bubbles, and number 4 is Goldie But Goodie. I think this is most comparable to Mingle with Kringle, but it's not an exact dupe of that polish either. Here it is close up. It's not an exact dupe, but it is fairly similar. Alrighty, so final thoughts. I feel like we've had a very interesting year from China Glaze. Even though this is technically the holiday collection, I don't feel like the color story itself is giving me holiday vibes. I do like the color story as a whole, so if I'm not looking at this and thinking this is supposed to be holiday, I would say I do like it. However, I also fully recognize that the collection largely has colors that I personally gravitate very strongly towards, so I fully recognize I'm a little bit biased in those regards. I feel like if you were paying attention in this video, as well as if you watch my videos on a regular basis, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to guess which ones are going to be my top picks. My top pick is going to be Pure Imagination. I love me a purple polish. I love me a purple polish with Shifty Shimmer, and I just really appreciate that we got a Shifty Shimmer from China Glaze in this release. I am fully aware that those of us who are, into indie nail polish, we have seen a purple base with a pink, gold, green shifting shimmer 1,000 times, and I feel like I'm speaking for myself as well as other people when, even though we recognize we have seen this before, it sure is pretty though. It sure is pretty though. And that's kind of how I feel about this one. I do wish that I could have seen the green color shift on the nail like I can see it in the bottle, but I'll still take a pink to gold color shifty moment anyway. So yeah, I really like this one. And then my second top pick is going to be Wonka. It's gold, it's pretty, it's sparkly. You all know I love me some gold, so duh. It's going to be on the top pick list. I will say though, Secret Recipe was one of the first polishes in this collection that I swatched. I had some very concerning flashbacks to the I Don't Give a Sip collection. If you saw my review on that, if you watched anyone else's review on it, the polishes were not good.
That's just my opinion. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got something to say.
And when I saw how sheer Secret Recipe was on that first coat, I was like, oh god, no, not again. Not again. Please, China Glaze, don't do this to me again. And even though I didn't love coverage and that went in 2 coats, it is passable into, and I do love me a chocolatey brown. I am glad all the polishes in this release aren't like that one. I don't know if I'm gonna reach for that one anytime soon, but I don't hate it. I'd love to know what everyone else thought of this release. As far as China Glaze's 2023 releases as a whole, I think my favorite one is going to be the Hello Sugar collection from spring. I do still really love the What's the Scoop color story. I just wasn't completely sold on the formulations in that release. I don't think this was a bad year for China Glaze. I feel like 2022, I would say, was not a great year to be a China Glaze fan. 2023, I don't think we've had any releases that really just knocked my socks off and wowed me, but I don't think this was a bad year for releases as a China Glaze fan. Much like I said last year around this time, I have very high hopes for the new year as far as China Glaze releases go. I love me some China Glaze, and China Glaze will always have my heart, but I feel like we could have done better this year. And also, not gonna lie, I really hope China Glaze goes back to the larger size releases. I feel like in the time I've been reviewing them, they've only been doing 6-piece releases. I'd love to know what everyone else saw this release. What do you think of China Glaze releases for the whole year? Y'all know I'm nosy. Let me know. I'm always very curious to see what people think of these releases. Before we end today's video, I want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Besties, thank you all so dang much. You are truly the best. Your support means the world to me. We have a live stream happening this Friday at 4 p.m. So don't forget, if you'd like to sign up for my channel memberships and come hang out on members only streams, I have a link for that down in the description box to join the channel memberships. But as always, please do not feel pressured to join. Just, like the video, comment, share, subscribe, all of the things, and we're good. So just thank you all so very much for watching today's video. I hope everyone has a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. But not my favorite what in the heck? Another cat. I don't even know why I bothered turning. What else would it be other than another cat? What else would it be? Stormy. Stormy girl. Come here, come say bye to everybody. Okay. So just thank you all very much for watching today's video. Before we end today's video, I want to give a very special shout out to Stormy. And that's why we call her Stormy. Little shit.